Welcome to the Just Do It podcast, hosted by Anne Duffy. Dental Entrepreneur Women is here to dive deep and share stories with the mission to inspire, highlight, empower, and connect all women in dentistry.
Hi, everyone. It's Anne Duffy. Welcome to the Just Do It podcast. I have a really great guest for you today, and she's a recurring guest. We just realized it's their third podcast. So we just love her so much. We keep inviting her back on the show, and she's got some really neat new things that she's speaking about. They were featured in our winter edition of Dental Entrepreneur Woman, dew.life mag. Please help me welcome Allison Lacoursiere. Hello, Allison.
Hi, so good to be back on your podcast. I love spending time with you. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, I love having you, and I want to tell everybody a little bit about you. So Allison is a professional coach with a focus on leadership and worthiness. As the founder of Clear Coaching, she is an expert in helping doctors and teams step into their greatest potential through powerful communication, confidence, and mindset strategies. She has years of experience helping dentists streamline their efficiency and increase their production using the Humans First methodology. She has coached hundreds of women on worthiness through her coaching program, Clearly Worthy. She has a decade of dental experience, has a lifetime membership to ADOM, is certified as registered dental assistant, orthodontic assistant, as well as a dental office management as dental office management through the University of Toronto. Allison is a faculty member of Align Technology, Upgrade Dental, and the Dental Speakers Institute. Additionally, she is a certified professional coach through IPEC and a member of the International Coaches Federation, UC Davis, for coaching as a manager, and is certified as a transformational trainer through LionSpeak. Hello, Allison. Wow. I thought I had your bio memorized, but it is constantly morphing into something neater and better and more rich. So this is beautiful, and I'm so happy to have you on here. You're also the co-founder of bespoke social media marketing agency, Clearly IG, that designs, delivers, and manages social media strategies for dental companies. Allison has additionally trained hundreds of individuals to create an ROI on Instagram through her online courses, live coaching, and workshops, and international speaking. Oh my goodness. And look at you. You're so young and accomplished already. I can't wait to read your bio next year to see what you've accomplished. So welcome, Allison. So nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate all of your kind words. Thanks a lot to me.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun to hear your own bio read by somebody, I think, right? And then your article, like, you pitched this to me, and I just love it because it clearly worthy. How to take up space, speak your truth, and unleash the aligned, most powerful version of you yet. And I know that came straight from your heart. Tell me, how did you decide to kind of, what led you to get into this lane of understanding worthiness and how it relates to success with women in business?
I mean, I think anything that comes from your heart, it usually comes from a personal experience or story. And for me, I have been somebody that has just been so passionate about growing myself and then helping others in the world. That's just been something that I've always really, really been passionate about, is helping other women be confident and grow and succeed. And I personally, on my journey being a founder and a woman CEO and speaker, kind of came up against some challenges. And I don't think that I'm alone in these challenges. Just from what I talk to all my clients and my friends and all of my connections, is that there's a piece that we have to work on in terms of our confidence, in terms of walking into a room and feeling like we belong there, feeling like when we get asked to do something, we don't ask ourselves, why me? Why did they choose me? And so as I started to grow in my own business and in the industry, I kind of was running up against these things. I'm like, why? Like, why do I question myself? Why don't I give myself permission? Why don't I advocate for myself more? Why am I quiet in a room where I don't feel confident? And so as I started asking these questions to myself, and as a coach, I started diving into some of the research and the studies and the psychotherapy and the coaching all around why women may hold themselves back from their own success. And the through line through all of this and how I discovered this was worthiness. We have to feel worthy to say no, to say we belong, give ourselves permission, to choose ourselves first. We have to feel worthy to step into a room and never be there before, but still say, I belong here and I have a message to say. And so outside of like all of these other success metrics that we have, I felt like, okay, if we can solve for worthiness, if we can feel truly worthy of the life we want, the money, the relationships, then we will be able to become limitless. And so that's when for myself first, and then for my client second, that's usually the way I like to operate is like, if I'm feeling something, I know my clients must be. If I'm noticing something about the way that I'm operating, it's usually like there's a level that my clients will relate to it. And so I really want to lead by example. I want to be able to say, like, I've been in your shoes and I know how to move past those limitations and internal blocks. So that's really where the worthiness came from, was just questioning my own limitations on myself in my life, and how really questioning, how do I get to that next level of success and joy in what I'm doing as an entrepreneur and a woman in business.
Wow. I mean, that rings so true with women. I think historically, I don't know how that ever happened. We're kind of climbing out of it, but like the worthiness aspect, it just feels like it is the one thing I hear is most prominently from women is the aspect of being worthy. Am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? Am I smart enough? I mean, all of those things. And I don't know why that is, because it feels like little boys are made to feel like they can do anything. And as much as they tell us that we can do anything, we still have some kind of a roadblock. I've seen it time and time again, even no matter where you grew up or how you grew up, it must be something, maybe, I don't know if it's in our DNA. I don't know, but I think it's a muscle that we have to exercise every day to say, yes, I can do this. I can, and I will. And not question it, because I think, if otherwise you leave this earth, like you were saying in your article, which is beautiful, by the way, you don't know how much time we have on this earth. And so, you want to make the most of every minute and not look back and say, hey, God, I wish I would have done this, or I could have done that. Or you left your gifts on the basement floor.
Yeah.
Instead of using, your potential to do great things, because we all have that potential. And it might not be what you do, but I know that I have great potential to do what I'm good at if I just lean into that. And everybody does, right?
100%. And I've been able to kind of see this, as a professional coach for the last 5 years, like just really crack into the mindset of what not just women, but people in general are thinking, and what actually holds them back from what they want in their life, where they want to go. And it's so much of it is our internal belief system and our own mindset. And, we hear this in business all the time, like, it's all about mindset, it's all about mindset. But like, what does that really mean? And when you can foster a really powerful mindset as a woman in business and just know, like, I belong here, I have something to say, I have a message that matters, and you truly can believe that you're worthy of that, you're unstoppable at that point. You will get the skill set that you need. You'll get the team that you need. Like, all of that strategy can be solved. But the first thing and the most powerful thing is to believe that you can do it. And so when I kind of recognize that, like, just talking to people, and I'm sure you've seen this so many times in the position that you're in, where you're talking to somebody and you can see that they don't even see their own greatness. You're like, you're amazing. Like, what do you mean? Why are you thinking this? But as soon as a woman can see their own greatness first and believe it's true and possible, I really think our entire world is going to change. And so that really has been kind of the shift that I've been making in the industry. And what I'm so passionate about is just to support that really powerful mindset so that women can do anything that they want in this world.
And sometimes you really need a coach that you take with you, because, we all fall off the wagon, if you will, every once in a while, because you come up against something that you're not really comfortable with, or, you look back and say, oh, I should have done this. And those are all those shoulds. Oh my gosh, they can drive you crazy, and they can really take you down and there really shouldn't be any shoulds out there.
Yeah,
we're doing the best we can with what we have. And that should be good enough. But the other thing I love, Allison, what you're doing now is you're bringing this to a lot of different age brackets, because you're young. You've kind of discovered your why early on. So I think a lot of us, and I speak for this, but I believe we've talked about this, I think you and I have on other podcasts, is that I didn't even know that I could even think about I was good at something, or that it was an intentional, that I could say yes and feel confident. There's so many things that you're lending credence to, and it all pretty much starts with being worthy and confident. One of the things I think, and I learned this with Sarah Cannell, is like you have to commit no matter what, and the confidence will follow, but you have to believe that it's going to come,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't always, they say, I was at a meeting recently, and they said that, they'll give you 10 things you have to have for a job. And a man might have 2, and he goes, "Oh, I can do the job."
Yeah.
A woman might have 8, and she goes, "Oh, I have 2 things that I can't do, so I can't accept it." Right? I mean, what is that about all these years later? I don't get that. But you're changing that. You're going to change that. What is the biggest problem that you think we face in that when it comes to elevating women as leaders in dentistry? What do you see as the biggest problem?
I see that it really is just our intrinsic and internal belief structure. It's just, the way that we have been, you know, kind of brought into this world of business. It's almost as if women feel like they have to fit into this masculine business structure. That there's this way that we have to kind of fit in, be tougher, be bolder, be like aggressive. And the reality is we don't, because women's greatest skills and gifts are their empathy, their love, their compassion, their vision, their ability to be resilient, our pain tolerance. Like women have this insane, beautiful strength system that isn't really, fostered in today's business world. It's not like recognized, but I think it will be soon because women have this next level power. But the first step, I think, is that women to own that, like to own their femininity in business, to be who they are in business, to not feel bad, to say, I actually need to finish at 3 o'clock because I need to go get my kiddos. And that's part of my, that's part of my way that I operate and work my business. But there's almost this like feeling of we have to like have it all together and we have to do all the things and we have to fit into this like business structure that doesn't really foster, being a woman or a mom or, having that feminine life of, we can relax and be successful. We don't have to be burnt out and be, an extremely powerful businesswoman. We don't have to commit to working ridiculous hours or never saying no in order to be successful. There's so many things that I think we get to do to redefine the business world that we live in and still be very successful in it. So I think it's the way that we get to kind of like redefine what we want our business life to look like and what we want our entire life to look like is going to be the way that we create this amazing path forward that's going to be even more expansive than the world we live in today.
Yeah, and better for the world. I mean, you really touched on it's feminine leadership. It's something that's so yummy about being feminine and caring about your family and caring about your kids. And why can't we do that and have a business life? I mean, that
Yeah.
I think that we're proving that we can do that. And
Yes.
I don't know, COVID made it very easy to pivot and remote work and the Zooms and be able to pick your kids up. And I'm not going to do the work right now, but when the kids go to bed, my creative juices will start flowing again. Managing our time, we're worthy of that.
Yeah.
And we can lead that. And I think that's what you're saying. It's like it's knowing you're worthy of it, but actually commanding the opportunity in our favor and saying, yeah, this is how I'm going to work, and you're going to get the best of me.
Yeah.
If I have that flexibility and the freedom to do the things that are important alongside my work. Then you look back. I love how you it's almost like part of your article made me think about, the hearse driving down the road and, what's behind it, not a U-Haul, not a bag of money, not all the accolades that you had in the business world. What really floated your boat and how did you make a difference?
Yeah. 100%. And I think that sense of urgency that allows, like, I don't know why, and I always felt this way, but I felt there's a sense of urgency for me to like understand who I am and what my role in the world is. And I thought about that, and that's why I wrote about it in my article of like if we remember that our time is limited, if we literally can imagine and visualize, okay, at the end of all of this, what is going to really make a difference in our life. And then we can reverse engineer today, tomorrow, the next month to get towards that. We will live a life that has more joy, more success, more love, more alignment. We will have less sickness, less stress, more like connection in our life. And I think that's what we're all here for is to live expansively, to live our greatest purpose, our greatest vision. And we are worthy of that. We're worthy of like living that type of life. And I think having the remembering to remember, like memento mori, remember death, it's not to do it in a way that scares you. It's just to do it in a way that allows you to recall and remember there is an urgency here to become the woman that I get to be and to have fun with it.
Yeah, and it's okay. I mean, it's okay to dream. We
Hmm.
squash our dreams, and it's always about what does everybody else want, and
Hmm.
when do we take time to like say what do we want? Because people want to give it to us as well. It's not like I think we don't ask for it so often.
No.
I mean, we don't take time to think what do I want, and you can ask for it, and people will say, okay, here, yeah,
Yes.
I never thought of this. I'm like, I'd love to help you do this, or whatever. But we put ourselves, back. We do put ourselves sometimes in the back seat, and we're gonna, I think as young women coming forward and with coaching and with um, someone to hold your hand or lift you up or take your arm and say, come with me, that will change. That'll shift a bit, and we'll say, like, yeah, we like riding in the front seat, we like driving, we love
Yeah. And
driving,
we're good drivers. We're
we're good
great drivers.
drivers. Yeah,
And
it's
I
not.
think that
Go on.
the other thing too is really just like remembering that like we like sometimes we think that by taking great care of ourselves or saying no or putting boundaries up in our life that it's going to negatively impact someone else or that it's going to like harm someone else. And we are so compassionate and so empathetic we'll say yes, no worries, I'll make this work for you. But when we make it work for us, it actually gives the other person or the other party or the other entity better. So the more aligned, the more you are in your power, the more you're doing the things that you love and you feel good, the entire world around you is going to benefit more. And so I think like as women, like we're meant to be like givers. We love so hard and we're so good at loving and we're so good at being compassionate. But if we can turn that compassion inwards, we actually get to take better care of the people around us. It's not less, it's actually more. And once we do that, once we shift that mindset of actually, no, self care is not selfish, not taking care of myself is selfish because I'm not going to be giving the world the amazingness that I can give them. And then also, like, you do such a beautiful job of this, is just paving the way, like leading the charge, stepping out of your comfort zone and saying, hey, this is what we're going to create and do. And I'm going to share this with the entire world. And other people watching you be your best Anne Duffy and just love on people and take such good care of the women in our industry inspires others to know what's possible for them. So even just you being you and being your best you inspires everyone else to know what's possible. And so it really is this kind of different mindset of like taking great care of yourself, living the life that you want will inspire others to do the exact same way just because they'll witness you doing.
Oh, thank you. It's funny when you're talking like that. It's almost like, so boundaries are actually a good thing, right? I mean, it's so often it's like a negative thing, like, oh, I've got my boundaries. No, I think it helps other people um, treat you the way you deserve to be treated because you're
Mm-hmm.
showing them the way. You're just giving them like a little bit more of a little blueprint, if you will. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can do this, I can't do that. And I think they respect that. It shows like it kind of like pays it forward and shows not only that I respect my time, but then you think, oh, okay, it's an example, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
will, for someone that you're working with to respect their own time. Say that's something that we can do. Well, what can someone do immediately? Because I mean, you know what, Allison, I hear this so often with women that they don't feel worthy. And it saddens me. And yet some days I don't feel worthy, right? And so, I mean, what can we do immediately to step into our confidence and achieve the next level for success in our lives?
So the fastest thing like to do immediately and almost like with a sense of urgency is to really start to question the thoughts that you allow to take up space in your mind. And the first time somebody asked me like what it like tell me what you think about what you're thinking. And I was like, well, I'm just thinking. What do you mean? I'm not questioning it. Question it. question the thoughts that you are allowing to take up space in your own mind. Because as soon as you do that, you're going to recognize that there are some thoughts that one are not true and are not serving you. And so something I love to get my clients to do immediately is like write down the things that you tell yourself that are not kind and they make you feel bad. Because the reality is they're likely not true. And there's a more empowered version of you on the other side of getting rid of those thoughts and choosing new ones. And the cool thing is like we get to choose our thoughts. We really do. It takes discipline, it takes some practice. But when you allow yourself to go through life telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or I probably won't get this spot, or maybe they think I'm stupid, or maybe they think I'm not pretty enough, you will feel that internally. And so the first part is to being your own advocate. And a quick like kind of mantra I use for my clients when it comes to this is like, who said that? If you're like, oh, I'm probably not going to be good enough to be on that stage. Who said that?
Oh, that's awesome.
It's usually no one. No one would ever say that to you. Or like, I look fat in my dress. Who said that? No one. No one would ever say that to you because it's not true. And the fact that you're saying it to yourself, like let's raise the expectations of what we say to ourselves. So
Oh,
that's the first step.
I love that. I've never thought about that because you're right. Would you say that to your friend if they said, how do you like this dress? You know, you look fat in that dress. But that's what we say to ourselves when we look at a mirror, like, oh God, that's so great. Who said that? That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And so really getting like in tune and like there's some practices that you can do. One of them, of course, is really kind of fundamental to my life. And I teach this to my clients all the time is meditation. It's really allowing yourself to sit with your own thoughts, to know what you're thinking, who you are, evaluate them, and then choose the most empowered thought. And so the other kind of mantra that I love to give people is what would the most empowered version of Anne Duffy do in this situation? So if you're faced with a choice or if you're faced with, I'm not sure, I don't really know how I feel about this. Okay, what would the most empowered version of Anne Duffy do? And it's like, well, she would step into that room and she would take up space and she would look fabulous and have fun doing it. Let's do that more often. And so it's just allowing you to kind of like create a new expansion or expectation for how you're showing up for anything. And this has served me so well in the last 6 months. I've been in rooms I never thought I would be in. I've been at tables with people that I probably 6 months ago would have been like, oh, I don't belong here. But I sit there in those moments and I notice that discomfort come up of those questioning thoughts. Why you don't belong here? You're not smart enough to be at this table. You're not experienced enough. All these little thoughts come. And I've developed the skill and capacity to say, no, actually, I do. And as soon as I do that, I sit up a little taller. I lean forward. I engage. I speak up. And it's really about like elevating your own mindset so that you can show up in that more empowering way.
Oh my gosh, I hope everybody is listening to this today. And well, you might have to listen to this again and again to go back to that self-talk and actually give yourself permission to step back and meditate and actually, I don't know, it sounds very strategic in one regard. And I usually just show up in a hurry, but I like the idea of just taking a moment to say, what would the best version of me do in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
And know that I have the power to be
Mm-hmm.
able to manifest that. I'm
100%.
going to really practice this. This is a good muscle. It's another new muscle that I will, I don't know, Allison, it doesn't matter how old you are. We're always learning, right? We're always
Mm-hmm.
learning. We always need each other, little boost, little cheerleading, little encouragement. And I just thank you for giving that to me today and to our listeners. Is there any parting words that you'd like to give us today as we go out into the world and find our worthiness in every aspect of our lives?
I would say you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said that this is a practice and it is a muscle. So I would say just know, like, if it's hard for you at first to put away those thoughts that are not serving you, that's okay. It will get better and easier as you practice it. And then before your next important thing or before your next big event, sit down 5 minutes before and think, who is the most expansive version of myself in this situation? And write it down and set a couple of intentions. Like my intention is to show up with joy, to show up, feeling fabulous, to feel confident, and write that down. And it will change the way that people will receive you in the world and likely bring in more opportunities, more business, more of everything that you want. And so I would say those two things, practice this as a muscle, know that it takes time and it's okay. And then two is set the intentions of that most expansive version of yourself to go into the world, the next important thing that you have.
And then we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. So that's beautiful. I'm going to hang my hat on that today. I think it's so cool too in the DEW community. When you're not feeling it, call a DEW. And let each other hold each other up every once in a while. We need 100%. Each other. We each other, but really the power is within us ultimately. And so thank you today for allowing us to find that place in our hearts and our minds that we are worthy for great things with great love. So Allison, thank you so much. How do we find you? I know there's a lot of listeners that would love to have some Allison coaching in their lives. How do they find you? And we'll have that in the show notes as well.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram, of course, Allison Lacoursiere. So come and find me there, and you can see the link to my website. You can see the link to my group coaching program there, and just send me a DM and we can chat. And I would love to just connect with you if this resonated with you or if this message was helpful in any way.
Well, get that. Thank you so much. And you all go on our website. The article, I believe, is available now on our website. And again, if you're not feeling it, read the article and reach out to Allison. And thank you so much for being with us today. I know you took some time away from your rest and relaxation, which is just what a DEW would do. And I thank you for being you. And everyone that's listening, remember, keep doing you. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you the next time.
Thank you for listening to the Just Do It podcast, hosted by Anne Duffy. To learn more about dental entrepreneur women, to share your story, or to join the movement, please visit our website, dew.life. That is DEW.life. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app to make sure you don't miss an episode. And in the meantime, keep doing you.